was early. That was
A
early.
little early.
was
Oh, I
early.
kind of liked it. I thought
Early
you
No,
had
it
it.
was early.
Maybe just a little bit off the front of the rim, like it goes up and then off,
So,
or maybe it rolls in.
is that a Kawhi bounce? Did I get a Kawhi bounce?
Boom, boom, boom. Yep.
Man, that photo. Not before we go into it, but like that photo of that, like he's like ah, and like
And
the whole
Embiid
crowd.
is like on the ground, being like, "Oh God, please no."
People in that photo had the same faces as people watching the dunk contest this weekend.
I still haven't watched it
You
yet.
watched the dunk
Oh,
contest?
I
I
have
watched
it
the
on my list
highlights.
for tomorrow. We're all Mac McClung fans now.
I mean, you gotta love a G League guy going out there and doing nuts
Texas
stuff.
Tech,
Like,
baby.
yeah, that's awesome. Welcome. We are in the as aforementioned All-Star break interregnum. No new full results, but we have league leader here, Big Joe, crushing and dominating. We're gonna get his view on us groundlings inhabiting the middle of the league, or in Nat's case, the bottom of the league.
Womp
Uh,
womp.
Had to get it in there. You still have a chance. You still have a
No,
chance.
not really.
You're not eliminated. You're not eliminated. Joe's like
Technically, no. Mostly, yes.
mostly is. And then we'll rehash some additional trade news. We got like the dessert. Got like the dessert of trades over the past few days.
But like maybe a dessert you left out too long and forgot to put in the fridge, and now it's kind of smelling weird.
Uh what is the worst dessert for that? Because like ice cream just melts. So like what's like the worst?
It's well, ice cream melts. That's you literally just said it.
Yeah, but that's like it just melts and like, but it's
Yeah,
not
it's
like it doesn't
boring,
go
but that's
bad.
true. Yeah. Oh, it's probably like pie, some sort
Ooh,
of fruit pie.
yeah, like a fruit pie left out. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, no one
Um,
wants room temperature pie.
and then also there was the Bulls announcing they picked up Beverly, which is like I don't get. We'll talk about, but like,
Buyout season.
ooh, buyout season. That's like that's a good.
That's where we're at now.
Yeah, that's where
I
we're
think
at.
that's the. I think that's the name of the episode.
Oh, that's you're naming episodes now. Are you trying to move in here? Like the producers, they don't come for their jobs. They'll unionize and it'll be a problem. Like
Yeah, and then we
It's a
won't
good
be able
name.
to afford them anymore.
No, you unionize and then you'll close down the store.
Exactly.
I'm not an MLB
We'll
owner.
move it to West Virginia.
Oh God. Anyway, all right. So Joe,
Yeah.
you obviously are feeling it this season. On top of very good picks that have turned out very well for you. But what we're most curious, I don't know if you've surveyed the competition in some manner of time, but who
Well,
how
okay, I'm curious off the top. Has anybody ever swept the payouts? So has anybody ever
no,
swept getting first the roto and winning out?
not yet. Because that is hard to do.
I know. So that's my goal. First off,
Triple
is
Crown.
this is this
Ooh,
is
Triple
this
Crown is
true
trouble.
is a sweep? Yeah. I the teams that I'm most worried about is the first topic. The team I'm currently playing is might be number one. They match up pretty well with me. Um,
They're like in last place. What are you talking about?
Taco Jays.
You're not. Oh, I picked the wrong team. I'm sorry. Oh, Peter. Ooh, he's scared of Peter.
I
Ooh.
think Peter has done a horrible job managing his team.
Because he
Well, I
doesn't
don't
actually
think he
play.
checks it at
If
all.
he would have done any work, he would be in second place.
Absolutely.
Probably true.
And so his team to me is the most dangerous. Luckily for me and the rest of the league, he apparently doesn't know how to play
Doesn't actually
fantasy
pay attention.
sports and
Which
doesn't
is
pay
weird
attention.
because he's a beast in fantasy football.
No,
But-
he knows how to play. He just doesn't actually play. Like he's not
Yeah.
actually paying attention. He's
Yeah.
just he just drafted so well he's been able to put it on autopilot.
Well, he did one pickup, Hayward, who I dropped. And Hayward's played well for him since I dropped him, but he's still Gordon Hayward. So
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
exactly. And so his team, they also have some shutdown potential with KP, although I don't think the Wizards ever want to.
They never shut down.
Yeah. So he just has I'm most worried about his team. His team is also the most injury prone by far. Like, and Trey Young can like tank any week by shooting 30% and taking a million shots. So
17-0 in free throw
Yeah,
percentage.
that's awesome.
Interesting. Is anyone else undefeated in a category?
I think I'm in
I am.
turnovers.
I am in rebounds, right?
No. Oh, you are. That's actually that's
That's pretty
crazy.
valuable.
That's nuts. And just like you're
Yeah.
I think that was almost over indexing because like if you're winning rebounds, like that's you have so
Well,
many excess like you're actually so far ahead. Like we looked at this last week. You're like
I'm not. Oh, I guess I am
you're
like 1,000 ahead.
500 rebounds ahead of the next person. You have like you have what is that? Eight. That's eight. You're 13% more rebounds than any other
Well,
team.
and it's the reason why I can't get any trades done. It's because everybody wants a rebounder, and I'm like,
And you have them all.
I don't
Yes.
want to give you a rebounder. I want to give you all the other players that
It's
aren't
probably the
rebounders.
most
So
scarce
no one.
stat.
It basically is and nobody will even go past that first sentence of conversation, and so I can't get another trade done.
You also like I mean like not
What?
that good.
There's not really much improvement for you to do. Just
No, and that's why it's a little tweak here and there with the excess because I have some excess. Like I got some dudes. So
You got some dudes. Yeah, I mean like also like Sabonis always rebounds a lot, but he's like flirting with number one in the league, which is a little weird. Claxton obviously went nuts this year. Markkanen is rebounding like very well for him. Like
Very
you
well.
definitely got even Randall is like at the high end of his window. You definitely like everybody is producing kind of at the top end of their window.
Yeah, I mean Markkanen obviously made the leap. I just saw him during Eurobasket going crazy, and I was like, if he can do this in Eurobasket, which is a high quality competition, I was like, I think he can do that in Utah. And then Randall, I just watching the preseason games like Nat did. I chose the good ones though that instead of Nat, which decided to go with Kawhi.
Hey, you just tried to get Kawhi from me the other day.
Because Kawhi actually is on a heater, and I
He's like
think
top 10 over the last month.
and now he's starting to play back to backs, and so I was like, he's just a coin flip. Like who knows if he's going to stay healthy though.
Randall
for
being
Randall,
for rebounds is like pretty like
yeah.
nuts.
Well, it's just their roster construction this offseason with Brunson. The reason why Randall sucked last year is because he had to handle the ball so much. And now with an actual point guard, like a legit actual point guard in Brunson, I just felt like he was going to get unlocked, and all his percentages now are back up again. So that's nice.
It also helps that Robinson has not played much.
Yes. But when Robinson's playing, Randall's assists go up too. So
yeah,
it's not really that. It's not bad for my weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's not like having Clippers. I've made that mistake a couple years, the last 2 years is having a Clipper on my team, and then I was like, no Clippers. Like I was like, it was like a hard rule. I will not draft a Clipper.
This is fair. They do not care about the regular season at all.
No, and they have too many times where they sit people just to sit, and I can't. So like that was a strategy going in was picking guys that I don't think will sit.
That was generally. I mean, I shared the same strategy. And I'm like but I regret my. I don't regret it because like when Butler plays, he's just so like he's like he's top 10 when he plays. He just doesn't play. Gobert.
Well, that's why I loved your draft, Chris, but I don't like the except for what's his ass? You just said it, Butler. It's because I love Butler as a player. Like he's a Joe guy. Like I love him.
He's a
in
Joe
real life.
Guy.
In real life,
certifiable Joe guy.
In real life, in the playoffs, the actual NBA playoffs, but you know what he does? Hits too much, and so he's off my. I know this because he was on my team a couple years ago, and so he sits those back to backs, and I can't do it.
All right, so Peter's in your watch list. Who else are you worried about? Who don't you want to see in the second round?
So for me, it's I think I always think you guys were off a little bit on the tiers. I think Michael's team, Peter's team, and Scott's team. But Scott also not Scott, Aaron, which is West Unside Outlet Pass. He's been unlucky. You guys
He's
have
second in
talked
the
about
roto.
it. Yeah, you talked about it. We're looking at the roto, and his team is really good. I just think he's choosing Kenny Martin should not be starting for him like ever. He just has some. Obviously, you can look at he's got some injuries, but he's had
Uh,
some.
False. Like those are good lines. I want Kenyon Martin on my team right now. 60% on
Okay,
15,
a
6
few
in
stocks.
stocks.
It's a few. It's just whatever.
All right, all right, all right.
I think. I mean, but you can look at that. He's got Jalen Brown on the bench. Like there's like
Pretty sure he's had
these.
Jalen Brown on the bench for like 2 months.
Well, and so I texted him and I was
He's
like,
also
what do you
not
do
playing. He's not playing. He was hurt before the All-Star break.
before the All-Star break? But then you should have tweaked your lineup for this week. Like that was the trick, was you could have changed your lineup.
My guy who was injured before the All-Star break did not change his injury statement until today, so I couldn't have traded it because I had Jamal Murray in the same boat. So I'm guessing it was the same situation. But yeah, he's pretty dangerous because OG will be coming back too.
And
Yeah.
well, so when he has OG, Jalen Brown, and Aaron Gordon, who is surprisingly a good roto player this year, he he's got a really good team, man. Like really good. Like that's actually
Well,
probably my number one.
and
Like I would say I fear Aaron's team the most.
and another
And
guy who's like way above band being Vooch, who's like number 5 this year, and like
yeah,
the Bulls are terrible, and
yeah,
he's just putting up
and he's
like
thriving off
monster
of it.
stats. Yeah,
Yep.
he's just putting up
Yep.
monster
But
stats.
I mean, Ja made another leap. Jajante still keeps kicking ass, even though he's in the
Jonas
Hawks.
gets numbers.
And I didn't think DJ was going to do that with the Hawks. I thought his numbers were going to go down, but his usage is still up somehow, even though he's on piece of shit Trey Young's team. So, I like that he picked up. I didn't want to drop D'Anthony Melton, but I had to, because of an injury coming, and so I had to. I had too many players, and so, and Melton's kept it up with the stocks for the most part. Like obviously there's that one Brooklyn game, but I think they were down huge in that game and they sat everybody. So I just I mean Aaron's team is the one that I would say number one fear, and then it's Peter and Michael. So if we look at Michael's team, I just think he's got enough bigs to hang with my team, which and enough scoring, and that's where.
You mean he's got Jokic?
Yeah,
because he's got Jokic. Well, because
Jokic has
Jokic
like no bigs. Just
but
Jokic.
Jokic can win a week. Like I have a lot of triple doubles on a team. Like I focused on it, but you can't out triple double Mike's team. He's getting
Right.
2 a week, so it's like I might like one when I played him early in the season, I did tie him in that because I got 2 or 3 from Sabonis that week, and you can't. That's not. Sabonis only has 6 on this season, so I just got lucky.
Dame also playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
he can get you like 150 points in a week on 60% shooting and like
Yep.
23s.
He's going
and
nuts.
High assist to turnover.
He's so fun to watch, though, man. He's so fun to watch.
Mad at that team for not getting him more. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
But I'm a little offended.
I'm not scared of you.
Oh.
You beat me out of luck earlier in the season, and your team is, I mean, win healthy, but I mean, when's that going to happen?
It's acceptable criticism. When I actually have my full best roster and they all
really
play,
good.
I can spike a week. Like
Yes.
I think I might be the best team in the league, but that has happened like once.
And you're so dependent on Raptors variance.
Yes,
that's problematic.
And have you looked at the Raptors playoff schedule for our playoffs?
I haven't looked ahead. No.
Yeah. Anytime you have a 3-game Raptor week, it's trouble for you. And sometimes there's 2, and then you're just gonna lose.
Three's fine. Like I mean, most teams have 3 games.
Normal.
Yeah,
but if
like
you have a 2-game Raptor week in the playoffs, you're dead.
Yeah,
like,
totally dead. Like 100%.
No, I like your team. I just think Fred VanVleet for some reason is broken, and you have some players that are broken. Like look at your guards, dude. Like what? Like,
well, that's because Murray's hurt. Murray's like sitting down. I try to get rid of Trent because now he's sort of not good. But I have a weak guard situation. but like I'm like heavy on the stocks. Like I'm not going to win
Yeah.
points. So like
I
that's what
like
I
your team. I just think I have enough stocks to take you down. So
yeah. And if I have like 2 injuries, I'm totally host. So
but I am so the one weakness of my team is OKC, and if they will, but I don't think they're going to tank this year,
They
and
may
I don't
not.
think,
They could get there.
and then I think Utah wants to because they did a couple of those trades, but they are going to let. Hopefully, they're just going to let Lowry keep going. Lowry, Chris's favorite Expo. So, does that infuriate you that he's good now?
no, like no, because he wouldn't be good on the Bull. Like he not like he would put these numbers up on the current Bulls team, right? Like he's the man essentially on that team, which is more a
Yeah,
Never
problem
had a
with that.
chance to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So like in a team that features Lauri Markkanen, like is he putting up massive numbers? Yes. Is a team that features Lauri Markkanen gonna win a title? No. Like so like
Oh,
it's sort of a
oh,
wash.
you're in real basketball, yeah.
Yes.
But
It is.
let's
A
talk
team
about
featuring
this.
Lauri
'Cause
Markkanen
that's
can
what
definitely
Oh,
win a fantasy
I
title.
I was literally gonna like I have said this and I true like he was like the next player on my list the round you picked him. Like I
Oh,
was definitely ready to pull that trigger. Like and I am sad that I didn't or I
I guess
couldn't.
I went into I had a clear strategy in this year's draft, and it was I'm drafting the guys I want to draft one round earlier than I want to. Does that make sense? So
You also had that right. You also had the double pick, right? Like or were you
right
on
on
the
the end, yep. I
yeah,
was
so like
on.
you that's a good you have to do that strategy when you're in that position. So
Yep.
like if you hit your guys like you did, like it works. But like, that's the right strategy you have to do for that when you have that
Yep.
position.
And I didn't like my position. Michael's like, I'm so mad with the first pick, and I'm like, you mother effer. Like
Right? I
it's
was
like a gift
also
from
same way.
God to get that. And he always says it. I'm just mad that I had the first pick. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I know you're self-deprecating, but get out of here. What's an
Yeah, like
advantage?
you definitely yeah, like who did I get this round? Like Murray, like Mark and I really wanted that round. And
Oh
then
yeah.
yeah, like
I
you drafted well and everybody hit and like
I no,
Claxton
I
is like the Claxton's your money pick and Markkinen is your money pick of like people who went out of absolutely bananas. Like Claxton's like what number 8 in the league, right? You got him in like the
Has a
11th
chance
round.
at defensive player of the year in real
Yeah, like
basketball.
that's insane. Like everybody knew he was gonna work, but I don't like. I mean, like it's not like you thought he was gonna be good either, right? Like you picked him in the 11th round. Like he was
well
good
no,
for the 11th round, but nobody thought he was gonna be,
I did because I had him last year.
yeah. But
See,
like
that was the one guy that I held over from last year's, or I didn't held over, but I was targeting is because I had Lowry or Lowry or whatever you say, and I had Claxton. I had Claxton all last year, kind of shuffling him in on my bench. And the end of the year, he got considerably better. And so he's so young. He's like 22 or something.
fine, but like also, I mean, okay, like like that's fine. Just yeah,
No,
we'll let you
whatever.
go. We'll let you go.
I'm just gonna stick up for myself just for 1 minute. Go back to your roto. I'm like 5th, right? And also, I think Joe and I are the only teams to lead in 3 categories. Just saying.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Just stick it up for myself and my own bad luck.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
but look at the categories that you're leading, though. I mean,
Good categories? Like what does that mean?
oh, it's turnovers. You can't count turnovers as a category. Like you can't tout, oh, I'm leading in turnovers. It just means
Yes,
you
you
don't have
can.
chic scores.
No, it just means you have an assists, which is that's always
No,
that's the inverse
he's last
relationship.
in scoring. Like that's it means you have
Yeah, I
zero
punted
scoring.
No, like you can have low turnovers and scoring. You can't have low turnover. You cannot win assist and turnovers. Like it's impossible. That
But
is the direct correlation. He also happens to be worst in scoring. That's like that's those two things don't necessarily move together.
oh, I think they do because when you have the ball in your hand, you score more. It's just that's how basketball works. And
Oh, really?
and yeah, and when you do that, you turn the ball over when you have the
For
ball.
example, you look at
Look at
10
I
feet off
just made the
Beal,
point with Julius
who
Randle. He
yes, but
turned
look
the
at
ball over all the time.
But he
last
also
year.
like because he's distributing. So like, but look at Beal, who's good at scoring and good at
Yes.
turnovers. Look at like it is not like if you get ball heavy guards who score, yes, but like it's not always a direct for scoring. So I'm just trying to like you can
Sure.
have both. But you can't also have like ball heavy guards that also try to pass a lot. That those two things do not work
My
together.
swing was rebounding, and I have a lot of guys who are well below their career rebounding averages for some
That's
reason.
true.
And
Yeah.
it's really fucking annoying. Like there's so many games where I'll have like guys who are career 8, 9, 10 rebounders and will get like 4. And it happens on the regular, and I don't get it. And I watch the games too, and I'm like, and it looks like they're getting them, but then it's just like, oh, you're just standing around and like your guards are stealing all of your rebounds, Miles Turner. Like,
I'm personally like happy along the same lines. Like I'm really bad in the roto because I'll basically like
Mhm.
when I have bad weeks, I have so bad weeks like they're just I'm probably like the worst in the league. And then when I have good weeks, I'm really good. But like similarly, Gobert is like so not good this season, and like I'm actually quite pleased to be where I am with like Gobert being a I don't know average center as opposed to like a first round
yeah.
center.
I've been playing without my first round pick since the 3rd week of the season. That doesn't
Yeah,
help.
it's not great.
No, it's not. And you just got too many guys that sit. Like it's just the sitting.
Yep.
Just
Yeah,
generally, and
like
it annoys me as a person. It annoys me in fantasy even
the
more.
cat blow up like made the Kawhi pick not work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
that.
That
Yeah,
that was kind of like what really was the death knell for me. Like I was like, okay, because Cat doesn't sit a lot. He gets hurt like once a year for like 10 games usually.
Yes, always.
And then like Halliburton doesn't sit. Turner gets hurt once per year usually, but it's usually because they tank and hold him out at the end of the season. So it's like, okay, I got 3 like reasonably durable guys. You fucked me by taking Zion. So I will just go ahead and just roll the dice on Kawhi, who I had very
Zion,
high.
who hasn't played for me since
I
Christmas.
know.
yeah, it's probably no better.
And I don't think he's gonna play by the playoffs. By the time the playoffs are our
So
playoffs
what
are
has he
around,
got now? What is his current injury?
they don't know. Like it's just something in the leg. They won't tell anybody. Though.
Yeah, I mean
Big
it's always something in the leg, but
big man broke leg. That's what he's got.
big dudes and bad feet do not mix. It's my
Yep.
catchphrase.
So
Uh,
I can't count on him for the, but that's fine because I
you
just
have 3 of the best
I
players in the
have
draft.
enough
It
rebound.
helps.
He doesn't rebound really for being his
I
size.
just
Like
really want to see him play I don't know.
I
He's
just
so fun to
love
watch.
I effing love watching him play. Love
Yeah.
it.
Like he's a guy like I root for him a lot just as like a person. I just want to because he's so fun.
Well, and I just like that roster too. Like I
Yeah.
like all the like Jose Alvarado, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. They're all fun guys.
I
to,
love
like,
that CJ got like the chance to actually be a lead ball handler, which was what he should have always been
Yes.
doing. And he's so
and
much
you
better.
you saw that when Lillard would get
Yeah.
injured, CJ could
Anytime
do
he
it.
went out, CJ was like 28,
He was
4,
awesome. And
Yeah.
so you knew what was going to happen when he in there, and he fits in perfectly when they have Zion. It's that team is so much fun, and they have a little fu to them, but they're not dicks like Memphis.
Not Memphis.
I can't stand Memphis. I hate that team. Like,
You don't
Interesting that you
want
hate Memphis.
guys true and faux drive-bys on you after the game.
So let's take
Bunch
that
of-
energy.
bunch of wannabe gangsters. Get the hell out of here. They're
All
like,
right, let's calm down. Let's direct that energy to what we can all agree with, which is
sure.
LA basketball is the worst.
Correct.
So
I'm
so
whispering for
we're on
effect.
record.
It's so fun that they suck so bad.
Are they gonna make the playoffs? Hit right now. Tell me.
I think they will make it through the play-in right now. But I hope not. And here's why. You guys were looking at benches last week, and in the real life benches, and I think their real life bench is now worse. Like I think their starting 5 is better, but I think their real life bench is now worse than it was.
Why?
Because I think trading Thomas Bryant was a huge mistake. Like huge.
I do agree with that.
It was like you have Anthony Davis on your team.
You need
like,
his insurance policy, and he was a good insurance policy.
He was great. They were winning with him.
I think they just so he wanted out. He asked out.
Yes, but who cares?
And they
I don't understand the NBA GMs that keep just saying, "Okay, you're out." Like, why buy out Kevin Love?
Because he was going to get paid. Like, I guess if you wanted him for just this season, but he was gone.
And like people won't play if they're not motivated, right? Like it's lame. You can argue like it's lame, but like, it's easy to like place 85%.
Yeah, and he's not a high effort guy to begin with. Like that was always his problem, is that like he was always really like tantalizing, but then he just didn't try. And so like the team would give up on him.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, he always got injured too.
Yes, also that.
But I like that he's in Denver for Denver.
Yeah, that's a great for them.
Denver's so fun to root for just because Jokic, he's just a wizard with the ball. So I just, I love passing big men. It's like my kryptonite. Love it so much.
So you're on the record that they're going to be worse now.
So
here's I don't know if they're going to be worse now. They will win. They will get into the playoffs if Anthony Davis is healthy. And so I just, that is, who knows? Like, it's why Amy always gets Anthony Davis and always loses in the playoffs, because he's never around for it. So, yeah.
So Lakers have the 4th easiest strength of schedule.
Sorry, Amy.
Season.
Ooh, 4th easiest.
Yep.
Yes. So that I heard that last week when I was watch the Lakers, and
that's interesting though. Like how many of that is like properly bad teams versus like the West parity nonsense, right? Like what's that? Is that current ranks? Like I feel like that could be very misleading. Before the season started, I heard that it was like their schedule. They got an easy schedule because it was harder at the beginning of the season, and then now it's going to be easier. Not that many back-to-backs and easier teams.
Yeah, they have one back-to-back in the final couple of weeks. They have the Bulls twice. They have the Jazz twice.
Ooh.
Depends. Luckily,
playoff hunting teams.
Jazz are trying to do
playoff hunting teams.
Yeah,
Bulls have twice.
Bulls have no motivation to lose though. They want it. Like they want to win because they don't have their picks anyway.
They have OKC 3 times.
Oh yeah, OKC and the Rockets 5 games. That's a big chunk of that.
And it depends. Like Shea will crush him if he's playing.
Yeah.
Nobody on a team would be able to guard him. So.
I think here's, I don't know, this hot take. I think Shea is all NBA first team this year. If I had to vote,
he should have been an all-star starter.
He is for me one of the top 5 best players this year.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a medium take.
Only
because of his name value, but he's averaging 31 on over, basically shoots no threes and does it in really high efficiency, and he's really good on defense. No brainer first or second all NBA this year. And also he doesn't miss games.
But he doesn't have the name recognition, like you said. I think that he won't get first because of that. Or he's deserved it, I think. But
yeah.
Whatever.
He's your favorite NBA podcaster's favorite player.
He's shooting 50-91.
You?
31 a game. He's 35-6 and almost 3 stocks on 50-90 shooting and under 3 turnovers. Like that's
the stocks for me is
banana,
and that's without shooting basically any threes. So if he gets a 3-point shot,
because you can't. His first step is lightning. Like he can't
1 a game, 1 3 a game.
Yeah,
you can't stay in front of him.
Not a 3-point shooter.
He's basically Ja with an NBA body.
Like more and a little bit more composure. Ja gets a little out of control sometimes
because he doesn't have
poise.
Ja's Allen Iverson 2.0, and it's gonna be bad later on in his career. But right now it's fun. But I hate his team, so.
So that's the Lakers. So we think.
Yeah.
So I would counterpoint. I think they're better than they were because they basically got. Their problem is that they just did not have enough NBA players on the team. Like Their top 2 guys, if healthy, and that's always going to be the thing. None of it matters if they're not healthy.
Well, no, here's I understand what you're saying. D'Angelo Russell is not a positive basketball player. He's like Russell Westbrook. You replaced Russell Westbrook, a negative basketball player, with another negative basketball player. And I don't
However,
like
his
D'Angelo Russell is a moron on the court, 10-cent head. He is so dumb with his decisions that I don't know even LeBron can fix it, who's like a genius with like he's a basketball genius. He's now with a basketball moron. So
but he can shoot the ball. So like Nat, I'm curious. Like,
so here's the difference to me is that the things that D'Lo is bad at, they can cover for really well. Like Davis and LeBron cover for bad defenders. They can very well. But he's also having the best shooting season of his life. And that's playing with like Gobert clogging everything and Edwards not passing to anyone. And like, so when he's going to get just like, he can stand in the corner and get wide open threes to his heart's content, and he's going to hit all of them. Same with Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley is there's a stat. I don't know what it is exactly, but he's like, he is the highest like percentage of a certain volume.
I think it's catch.
It's like 8 or 9 attempts, over 8 or 9 attempts per game. It's Steph, Dame, Malik Beasley. And so like get those 2 guys in the corners, and then like whoever else you want to put in there like could unlock their horrible offense that doesn't work because no one could make a shot from more than 2 feet away. And now they have multiple guys who can do that.
Makes up for not getting Buddy Hield. Which would have been
mean, Beasley is basically like poor man's Buddy Hield at this point. And so like they
didn't want to give up the pick. I wouldn't, if I was their GM, I would not give up any picks like that. That's also why I loved the trade is they got rid of one of their other first round picks for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're not
and long term,
if you're not going to get rid of those picks, you might as well just get rid of LeBron. Like you have either, depending on your argument, the first or second best player of all time on your team right now playing at as high of a level as he, maybe he's 10% off his peak, but 10% off his peak is still an all NBA player. And so when you have him and then you have another all NBA player, you have to go in, or there's no point in having them, really. Like,
I agree.
Unless you just want to like do the thing where you keep them and you do go more draft heavy and you take your shots and like try to just surround them with good young guys, but like that was never been their plan. So they punted that plan already. And like every team that's doing this right now is failing miserably. That's trying to live 2 timelines. Like Portland's trying to live 2 timelines. They're not good at either of them. Golden State's trying to live 2 timelines. It's probably going to cost them a shot at another championship. Lakers should not live 2 timelines because they're like, what's the point? Like they don't have.
I understand. I just think like the only player I liked that they got back was Vanderbilt, and I don't. And Vanderbilt is not he's a defensive guy, but he can't score. And I think the Lakers are going to need to outscore people, and I don't.
No, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. That's the thing. Like
when
they
healthy,
need to outscore people. They need
Anthony
to
Davis
just score.
Playing.
They just need to score at like a average clip. They just need to have people who can make open jumpers.
We've already posited that like no Davis, no playoffs.
Those 2 aren't there, they're dead. It's not
irrelevant.
But if those 2 are there, now
you actually think they can win in the playoffs?
I think if those 2 are there, those 2 are better than any other team's best 2 if they're healthy.
I think Denver will just smash them. I think if Zion's healthy. What?
Not if they're healthy. I don't think they'll smash them.
It's not going to smash them. They might beat them.
I think it would be a really tight series if they're healthy. Who on that team has any chance on LeBron? Like,
yeah, Aaron Gordon's guarding LeBron. Like probably
fouls a lot.
You can't play Jeff Green 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Aaron Gordon already fouls a lot to begin with. If you put him next to LeBron, he'll get whistled by like touching his jersey. He'll be done.
Or like Michael Porter Jr.
But see, then there's a strategy, and if you have a good coach, and Denver has a good coach, where you just say, LeBron, score everything. We're gonna and you get tired
And
out, and
nobody
he will
else is
get
gonna beat
tired.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good like. It won't be a push. Like Denver won't sweep the Lakers, but like I would pick Denver because like I
Sure,
think
they're
they're
the
the best
best
team in
team
the
in the
league.
West.
Yeah, like
Well, except we haven't seen Phoenix because who knows if Durant's
No.
healthy. But
I mean, their thing is the same thing as the Lakers thing. Like, if their best people are on the floor, they're going to be better than everybody else. But the odds of their best people being on the floor is not high.
And
Maybe
they have-
it might even be lower than the Lakers.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and they also have like literally no bench. like they can't leave the
oh,
floor.
see, that's where I disagreed with you guys last week. Is I like Phoenix's bench. I think Torrey Craig, TJ Warren are quality NBA players, and so I just like their bench better than the Lakers. I hate the Lakers bench. It's not because I hate the Lakers. I actually just hate their bench.
You hate the Lakers too, though.
okay,
I do hate the Lakers.
All right, we got.
go to the other LA team.
Yes, we need to discuss
some Clippers. Like, does anyone understand this at all? Like, other than the fact that the players liked him because he used to be good, does anyone understand this?
Does he start? Does Westbrook start on the
He has
Clippers?
to.
Does he?
Who else does?
They don't have
Man?
a point guard.
Man's
Man's not a point guard. He can't handle the ball.
I thought that's what he was playing.
He is a nominal point guard, but the reason that Russell Westbrook is there is because they haven't had a real point guard on the team for like 4 years.
God,
Chris, I don't think you've watched them play this year.
No, I don't. I don't watch basketball. Don't you know this? I don't actually watch this sport on television. Like this is part of why this is funny.
Oh, that is kind of ironic. But no, when you watch them, you
literally have watched the game in a month and a half.
Terrence Mann turns the ball over. If you have a good on-ball defender, he will cough it up. And that's the reason why they did it. I think it's a bad idea. It's a bad plan, just like going on north of the wall in Game of Thrones. It's a bad plan, but it's not something that is going to help them win games. So yeah.
I cannot envision a court with Westbrook and George and Kawhi all on the floor, all like working together.
There's maybe
he just
like
makes dumb decisions. That's why
there's
it's
like
going to
a
be
small
crazy.
needle you can maybe thread where it's like maybe if you put him with the two good wings and then like Eric Gordon and Batum. And then everyone else can shoot, so his terrible shooting isn't a problem. And then like you can essentially play him as like a 0.5, like he can almost be like a functional center in some ways because he's a better rebounder than almost everybody else on that team already.
He's an excellent rebounder.
Zubac.
Yeah, well, him and Zubac should never be on the floor together under.
Yeah, the thing about Brooke Westbrook is I don't think you can play him in crunch time. And
no, he's not a winning basketball player.
Then you
like
need
you
to
said
have
that with D'Lo. He's not a winning basketball player.
The great thing about the Clippers and why I think they're more dangerous than the Lakers in the playoffs is because if Kawhi, it's a huge if Kawhi and Paul George are healthy, they can be your de facto point guard during crunch time. And so because of that fact, you don't need Westbrook at the end of the game. Like if I was the coach, I would be benching Westbrook the last 2 minutes of the game. And then the rest of the time you just, or 5 minutes of the game, really.
And
but that's
Toronto
the problem.
Maybe one of 2 or 3 coaches who has the balls and gravitas.
Yeah, he has the balls to do it.
To actually do that.
Yeah, but like that, like maybe he does, but like there cannot be another player more on the record about how they want to play basketball than Russell Westbrook, and that's exactly the way he doesn't want to play basketball, is everything that was just described. So
Correct.
like that's what I don't understand. Like he literally will be a crab ass, like constantly complaining publicly about how he's not playing, and like Zubac is the only big on the team. Like he's got to also play.
I also think Russell Westbrook wants to win, and I think if they're winning these games and he's sitting at the end of the game, I do think he'll be less grumpy. So I do. And that's the thing about Paul George and Kawhi. When healthy, they are like, you haven't watched the game this year. They are really, really good.
Obviously, they're really
at their
good.
Peak.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that they're not good. They're just like they don't play, and that team didn't need Russell Westbrook.
Well, I think they have. I think they're not playing on purpose. Like because
they
as
don't
Matt
care
said
about the regular
earlier, they don't
season.
care about the regular season. Like they
But
know
who
they're going to
does
get
care
the
about the regular
in their
season?
fifth.
Westbrook.
Yeah, but they're the fifth seed right now, or fourth seed, and they're not. They don't care about the regular season. If they cared about the regular season, I do think they could be the second seed right now or the first seed. But they don't, and they shouldn't. Like that's not.
I think that's more up to the
Serious-
fact that the West is kind of trash than they're really good.
I disagree. I think that the West is just like a giant pile of injuries as part of it. Like I would not, if I'm Denver, I'm like, please do not let me, I don't want to play these guys. Like that's like that team.
They don't want Denver doesn't want to play either LA team.
Yeah, like they would have nothing on those two. Like those two would eat them. Like you could put freaking Kawhi on Jokic for a little while and he could just wreak havoc. And like healthy Clippers to me is the best team in the league, honestly. Like they aren't ever healthy, so this is irrelevant. But like, and that's always been the thing with them. It's like if we just have our guys, we're better than anybody. But they never, ever, ever have their guys. So like, this is not a real argument you can make.
Yeah, and like the Denver Clippers matchup is like the worst, like probably their worst matchup too, realistically, and has been for a couple of years. Like they've always had that problem in the playoffs.
And they're one of the few teams that actually can like make Doncic work a little bit. That's another one.
Yeah, they're not a good bet though, because who knows if they're going to stay healthy.
The odds of both of them making it through 4 playoff series are like so low.
And that's why I think same with the Lakers. Like,
yeah, I agree.
It's just Davis he's soft, dude. I know we say it every year, but he has not gotten harder. So
that's no. Should we end it there? Should we end it there? I feel like.
All right, have you gotten harder?
No. I've watched less basketball after starting this show. that is my claim to fame, that I basically don't watch basketball yet. I'm second in the league.
That might be why
scores.
It actually is impressive that I'll give you this much credit, Chris. It is impressive, Christopher, that you are in second place without watching a game. That's insane.
Yeah, it's because like math and stats.
Well,
I almost won fantasy football like multiple years, and I literally did not watch football at all.
Yeah. I tried to quit fantasy football this year, and then because I'm the commissioner, my league like begged me to do it, and
quit you.
And then so I did it, and I'll still do that, but I'm quitting I'm only going down to one league next year because I hate it. I hate NFL. I hate the NFL.
I went down to one also.
I hate the NFL.
It's the worst. After I found myself bringing a laptop to the bar to watch like that after that season, this is like a long time ago, and I was like,
I remember I was there.
Yes.
You just got a bit of an addictive personality when it comes to that stuff. Like once you're in, you can't get yourself out.
Yeah. For stats, yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Hot for stats.
I
get hard for stats.
That's
a good team name for next year. Hard for stats.
Yes.
For stats. Yeah,
I feel like we definitely have to end. So thank you, Joe. Write that down. I'm gonna have to fight with Mikey on that. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. And I appreciate the compliment.
Thank you for inviting me in the league enough times where I finally joined.
Yes, and then you can win and complain about it constantly, both simultaneously. It's my favorite thing about it.
Every league needs a villain, and you play that role really well.
Well, the thing is, I invited too many of my friends. All the new people are all my friends that like to talk shit, and
it's great. I love it.
And it drives me insane because Aaron knows how to push my buttons because I've known him since preschool, and
he's in as long as he wants. I love it. Yep. It's great.
Oh, it's the lifelong friends that you've had for over 40 years. Do not invite to your league other leagues. Like it's
no, I'm gonna do that every time. No, every time. Your friends though. Your friends, not my friends. Your friends.
Yes, correct.
Have a good night.